Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the Waterman and D-Train Show.
Digitized live from the ACT Computer Studios in Cape Coral, Florida, it's the Waterman and D-Train Show.
What's up, OG5? It might help if I turn off my mute button. How y'all doing tonight? We're live from the ACT Computer Studios in Cape Coral, Florida. But, you know, just like everybody else, we're concerned. Gordon, are you concerned?
Mildly. But not for the reasons that most people are concerned.
Dave, are you concerned?
Yeah.
We are so concerned about the coronavirus that we decided to separate, to spread out, to self-contain, to self-seclude, self-quarantine. I got 30 rolls of toilet paper. I got 18 stacks of water bottles. I got 5 bottles of whiskey all off here. And so Gordon is self-quarantined out in Las Vegas, Nevada, as always.
Yes, I am.
Dave is self-quarantined. Where are you, Dave?
I'm in Tampa.
Tampa.
I had a helicopter drop off one of the kits, to test myself. So I'll be doing that later.
And Gordon in Vegas. And in all seriousness, no, Dave, we'll get into why Dave's in Tampa here shortly. But while we're on the subject, I just want to play something here. Check this out, y'all.
Global hot zones, the coronavirus spreading.
Fears grow of a global pandemic.
A huge spike in cases in Italy. Hundreds of cases in South Korea. New cases reported in Europe.
The CDC warned Americans to be prepared here at home, that it's not a matter of if, but when.
It was New Year's Eve 2019 when health officials in China admitted they had a problem.
Health authorities have activated their most serious response level
After an outbreak of a new type of viral pneumonia
in central China.
A rapidly growing number of people were developing a dry cough and fever before getting pneumonia. And for some, it turned fatal. Doctors have named the disease COVID-19, or coronavirus disease 2019, indicating that a type of virus is causing the illness. When they tried to trace its origin, they found a likely source: this food market in Wuhan. Out of the first 41 patients, 27 had been here. It wasn't conclusive evidence, but Chinese officials quickly shut down the market. They had seen this happen before at a place just like this.
The health officials are trying to get a grip on an alarming outbreak of SARS.
The virus originated in mainland China.
Has spread across the country.
The disease had been festering for months in southern China.
In 2002, a coronavirus had emerged at a very similar market in southern China. It eventually reached 29 countries and killed nearly 800 people. Now, 18 years later, this coronavirus is in at least 71 countries and has already killed over 3,100 people.
So, Dr. Drew, are we overreacting?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I'm hearing this from doctors left and right.
Yes, and we are not overreacting. The press is overreacting, and it makes me furious.
Amen.
The press should not be reporting medical stories as though they know how to report it. If we have a pandemic, I won't know how to tell that we're actually having a pandemic because everything is an emergency. People that are infectious disease specialists, the CDC, the epidemiologists, need to take this very seriously. The press needs to shut up because you're more likely to die of influenza right now.
That's what doctors are saying. However, and I'm not trying to go against you, but I have a question. It is now beat SARS in terms of fatalities, 362, and they're saying
but its fatality rate is still lower.
But they're saying it spreads fast.
It's a mild illness. It spreads all over the place, and it's only out of these 17,000 documented infected. I bet there's hundreds of thousands of cases, 300 deaths.
Okay.
And always in immunocompromised people, always in people that are at risk for these sorts of things if they get a severe viral respiratory infection, whether it's flu or corona or whatever. All of these can hurt people who are compromised. They can. The rest of us need to wash our hands carefully, get our influenza vaccines, listen to the CDC. If there's a problem, they will let us know.
The CDC made it very clear that 5,000 people just in the last 2 weeks have died from the flu.
Thank you.
That's currently at the 1,600 now.
About that? Three people died on the streets of Los Angeles this morning from homelessness. Why, if that were coronavirus, people would freak the hell out.
You're right.
Why aren't we putting our priorities in the right place? It's the press. The press does not know how to report on medical issues. It's where I first learned about fake news.
Should we have consultants? How could we fix this?
When Anthony Fauci, who's one of the leaders in infectious disease, gets on a national news broadcast and goes, "Don't worry about it. Stop worrying about it."
Good to
and then
know.
if there's some data where he says we need to worry about it, then you report on it. Otherwise, shut up.
Get your flu vaccine.
We talked about this.
My favorite part is there's two women on that panel, and one of them's the only comment was,
Mm-hmm.
And like I said,
Yeah,
that
I
was
don't
back
believe
before
you,
it was
Dr. Drew.
17,000 people have died from the regular flu.
That's
Yeah.
insane. That's insane. Now, from what I understand, that market, obviously it's closed down, but
Mhm.
it's known as a wet market, man. You guys ever heard of those?
No, I saw the Google Map overview when I was making that because you heard the clip that had all the high production and the scary music in the background. It had like satellite drone footage, and it's like right by the coastline. But other than that, I don't know why it's called a wet market. Is that because that's where primarily fish and?
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah. What they're saying is because they stack cages on top of each other with multiple different animals.
Yep,
like
they were
chickens
showing
on
him
top-
spraying down
on
these
top-
cages with like chickens stacked on top of each other. So they're shitting on each other.
Chickens. Yeah, and they're it's exactly what's happening. So I guess some of them like chickens and bats and all this other stuff, but they're like, the top trips, pisses or craps, and then they piss and crap and piss and crap and piss and crap, and it just keeps going down, and that's how this whole thing has because these people are literally handling this food. Whatever, I guess you call it food, but they're handling it with bare hands, man. They're not even using any kind of protection gloves or nothing.
Well, we mentioned last week the gloves don't do anything, but I think you bring up a good point. And in that clip, he also mentioned that SARS came from the same damn area. At what point? Now I know China is a communist country, which is even funnier because you figure that all be about policy and government intervention. At what point does China create a serious health department where they crack down on this shit? I mean, yes, we hate regulations and we hate OSHA and all that, but the reason these entities exist is to minimize shit like this. That's why we have a health department going around and and if you're in California, giving restaurants grades, or even if you're not in California, you're here, you don't have a grade you pin up outside, but if you don't follow the minimal list of shit that they have for health reasons, they will shut you down. And it sounds like over there they just can't be bothered, and it's weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had a thought.
Okay.
As you're playing that scary intro music, I was thinking about the panic that's ensued, and obviously it's too much. But also I was thinking, am I watching Outbreak? Are we watching a dystopian movie where everything's falling apart? And then I got to thinking, I was like, okay, we blame media, we blame social media, but what about the fact that we probably got a generation of young adults out there that they grew up on post-apocalyptic movies and TV shows, dystopian future where everything falls apart, and I go into it a little more like, how many people really kind of secretly wishes that happens?
Well, that's kind of a good point because we often brought up in the past, at least I have my hypothesis, and the reason skinny jeans and Vans got popular is because you had a generation of people who grew up with Big Bang Theory being on TV for 10 years. Well, how many years has Walking Dead been on TV? 5, 8?
It is 11. It's
11 years.
Season 11.
So you got a group of kids who were 8 when it came on. They're 18 now. And kind of like Gordon said, and along with Walking Dead came all the video games. And prior to that, they had the video games and all that. And so, and I've never been one to blame all the world's problems on music and video games, but if we're going to be honest with ourselves, last week we were talking about you are what you consume. There's got to be a little bit maybe to that. I mean, if we're going to blame skinny jeans and ugly clothes on Big Bang Theory, then I guess we got to blame a little bit of people's desire to have a post-apocalyptic universe. That's a big one to say on Walking Dead and all that crap.
Well, and also the fact that it may just be indirectly influencing, maybe not directly, but just it's there. It's been in the background, right? It's this fear or something that's kind of been in there, and they grew up. That's kind of and the scary thing is people. There are a lot more people than we want to admit who probably can't clearly separate fiction from reality.
Now, I don't know if this is true or if this is just hyperbole or wishful thinking on the part of people who are concerned about world policy, but I did hear someone say that if there's an upside to this, if there's any truth to this, but if it's true and there's an upside to this, that is that there's some top members in ISIS and the Taliban that are catching it and dying off from it. So hopefully that's true, and that'd be nice. But
hell yeah.
On the behalf of the people in Florida, Texas, South Carolina, Louisiana, in Georgia. We just want to welcome the rest of the world to the fucking freak out party. Every time there's a hurricane season and there's a named hurricane, the media gets on it. And this is, you guys are now on a large scale living what we deal with during hurricane season. You get the snowbirds down here, you get the tourists down here, the news anchors and weathermen are like, oh shit, here's the chance to get our demo reel up. Let's get some ratings. Let's get some ratings. Weather Channel's down here. Hurricanes going to come kill you, kill your family. I'm just trying to get to work and I can't get gas. I'm just trying to get bottled water to do my daily life because I'm on well water. That sucks, but I can't find water anywhere. So all the people talking about how they can't find toilet paper, how they can't find water, welcome to the club. We've been living this shit for years.
Yeah.
But so part of it is
they're selling out everything, guys. Everywhere you go, it's
except
like,
gas. We got plenty of gas.
Rubbing
There's
alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Tissues.
Lysol.
You name it, man. Yeah, Lysol. Bleach products. It is getting wiped off the shelves around the country, man, and it's crazy.
And it's not just the country; it's actually around the globe. There's a lot of shit going on in Australia, and it's like, let's take a step back. So one of my thoughts was, if people are panicking this much at a very early stage situation that may actually not turn into a huge situation, if things escalate within the next month and shit does get real tight, how are people going to react?
Yeah.
Are we going to start seeing some problems with home break-ins and stuff like that? And God, hope not. But I was just kind of like, people are freaking out like this just at the very beginning stages of something far less than a flu.
Well, the thing you got to also, and Dave and I have experienced this too, and I saw it more prevalently during Hurricane Charlie. But the other thing you got to be careful with when you're in this sort of situation is when people start getting antsy and start stockpiling and start getting concerned that things are going to go on, that's when the ne'er-do-wells come out.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's when they start taking advantage of people. And, the scariest thing about hurricane season for me, obviously, besides the damage, is long-term power outages. Because when the power goes out, the ne'er-do-wells come out to start pilfering and breaking into people's shit. And even on a smaller scale, that's when, you start getting the fake phone calls from the quote-unquote, emergency response teams and this and that, and they try to start taking advantage of people and have financial gain. So not only do you got to deal with people being paranoid and anxious, but then you got these assholes who try to take advantage of the situation and rip people off.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's funny, I had posted something that my wife had pulled down from the internet, and it was actually a real story. And I'm like, is this guy just playing a gag on everybody or woman? I don't know what it was, but at Costco over the weekend, somebody was dressed in a respirator and full protective gear while shopping.
I want to say that that's a beginning of the day gag, because I can't imagine management would allow that to go on because they're going to incite panic.
That and
to have one employee doing that,
need to have a clear view of your face anyway.
That was probably like an internal joke they did right when they opened the doors. They put it on, got the picture, everybody had a good laugh, and they took it off and went about their day. Clearly, someone didn't work their entire 8-hour shift dressed like that. The management would not have allowed it.
That was a customer.
Oh, I thought that was I'm sorry. From the angle of the photo, it looked like it was the cashier.
Nope, that was a customer.
Or it's like, hey, let's increase sales. Let's increase sales. Dress one of the employees up in the masks and all that stuff. Let's get that stuff out of here, man. You
It's
never
crazy.
know.
Well, I tell you what.
I tell you what.
So I've been working on fortifying my house for the last couple of years. I figure I might as well step it up a little.
Well, to be fair to you, though, that's not based out of paranoia. You lived in your house for, 6 months before somebody broke in and stole all your shit?
Just a little over a year, yeah.
Oh, dude.
You went and built a house in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then, 6 months later, his house gets broken into.
Oh.
And then the fantastic media, a year and a half later, goes on all the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and repeated 11 o'clock news saying, just to let you know, if you're looking to break into people's houses, the police department said they're no longer going to respond to burglar alarms.
What?
Yeah, thanks, assholes. Yeah, thanks, D-Train. Let's put that back out there.
Well, I'm sure there's fewer ne'er-do-wells in Las Vegas listening to our podcast than there were on the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7, 11 o'clock news and Facebook.
Well, anyway, while I was out and about, gun stores were very busy this weekend. One lady walked in while I was perusing.
I need me a shooting gun.
Damn
Close.
right,
And
I
some
need
bullets.
Pretty close. It was a ghetto-fied version of, because she was a big woman of color. She came in and she ain't no better place to be in than in a gun store when this shit's going on.
Oh my God.
Guy behind the counter is just like, oh God. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
fuck. Really, guys? Really?
Yeah. It's insanity. It really is. The panic incitement. Hell, I'm surprised we're not seeing more what are they? The zombie apocalypse vehicles running around town. I know there's a couple of them that run around this town that's got
Oh, we got them all over Vegas.
Ready.
Morgan Long from the Facebook says, "Forget toilet paper, buy ammo." Only problem with that is you can't wipe your ass with ammo. You know, it's funny.
But you could get some more toilet paper with the ammo if everything falls apart.
There you go.
I don't know, man. What about gunpowder on the old butthole?
I ain't trying to burn that shit
know what?
shut.
There's plenty of rags around your house.
You know.
Washcloths, get washed.
Or
there's things that can be done.
Yeah, you can wipe with your hand and wash your hand.
I used when I was a kid growing up, I used banana leaves, man, and I got chiggers so bad all over.
You got
my
what?
cajon,
What
man.
did you just say?
I got chiggers, man.
You're from Kentucky, you know that word.
Oh, I know what chiggers are.
Dude, you know what chiggers are, man. But when you're way out, hiking around in the woods, man, and you got no toilet paper and you're a kid, dude. You gotta go.
Everybody knows you wipe your ass with an acorn.
With an
Pine cone. Pine cone. Get it right.
I'm using banana leaves, son. But them damn chiggers, man. God, man, I got those things so many times.
While we're on the topic, you know what I miss? Remember good skid mark humor from the 80s and 90s?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
It came out of me nowhere. Carrie was complaining the amount of toilet paper we use in this house before the apocalypse came, and I just had the thought, you can complain all you want about the amount of toilet paper I use, but you'd be hard pressed to go into that hamper of mine and find skid marks in my drawers because I finalize my paperwork until it's clean. And then I got to thinking, there used to be like a whole comedy, like lazy Hollywood comedy writing around skid mark jokes on TV and stand up. Those all went away.
Yeah. Well, thank God they went away because they were getting a little long in the tooth.
But Tim Allen's career was based off of that. His early stand-up and Home Improvement, there's a whole lot of skid mark jokes in that.
Well, guys make their own man ponds now,
How do you do that, Dave?
Well, what you do is you take, let's say you're having a real bad day, man, or you're going to eat, a chicken wing contest or something, or maybe you're going to go, to a hot dog contest, or you're just eating maybe some Thai food. What you do is you take some paper towels, bro, and you'd go get cotton balls, and you pull the cotton balls apart, and you put them in the paper towels, and then you stick that in between your butt cheeks and throw a piece of medical tape across it, and you're good to go.
This
Sounds
is
like
coming.
you've had to deal with this before.
Well, this is coming from the guy who used to put popsicles in his ass after eating spicy food.
Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, that when I had my old girlfriend used to do that for me, man. Boy, she was a gem, wasn't she?
Just deal with the ring of fire. That's what I do.
Yeah, well, dude, sometimes, come on, guys. When you're eating hot stuff and you know it tastes so damn good, but you are regretting that trip to the restroom, man. That toilet bowl trip is just god-awful.
But don't you have a no regrets tattoo?
No, it's no regrets.
Oh,
yeah, it's no regrets. Yeah,
no,
it's no
seriously,
regrets,
you
dude.
really got the no regrets thing?
Yeah, he got a tattoo. He did that on the air at the radio station. He has a tattoo across his chest that says no regrets.
It was either that or Molly Hatchet, bro.
Yeah, they want him to get like a whole Molly Hatchet album cover so his chest looked like a 1970s party van.
Yeah, dude, bro. Yeah, dude. Yeah, with a kitten license plate on the front that says, I like chasing tail.
There you go. Have you seen all these ugly ass green Corvettes driving around?
Are they new or old?
They're newer models. They're like a baby
Not the
poop
brand
green.
New, not the 2020s, right?
No, these are like I think 2018, 2019s.
I haven't seen any caca green.
I have a hypothesis, and hear me out on this.
I've seen a couple.
Obviously, these cars are very ugly, and they have very low resale value. But you'd question, why would Chevy put out so many of them?
Right.
They got a demographic they got to tap into.
Talking about your midlife crisis demographic?
No, the colorblind. And I'm not even being facetious. And
I was thinking about weed smokers.
well, this occurred to me because back when I worked at CompUSA, there was a cat, the manager there.
Shiba Green.
The manager there, he had this ugly ass seafoam green BMW. And everybody would always bust his balls. Why the fuck would you buy an ugly ass seafoam green BMW? He's like, honestly, I'm colorblind and I think the color looks fantastic because they see the color different than we do. They don't see red like we do. They don't see ugly seafoam green.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if maybe Chevy and the car dealers have kind of figured out what certain shades kind of appear to the colorblind audience. And I almost wonder if they intentionally are painting cars what we would consider an ugly ass color because that color looks different and is more appealing to the colorblind audience.
Well, with that hypothesis, that would lead me to think that you got way more colorblind people in Southwest Florida than we have in the Southwest U.S. because I have not seen one.
I wonder what statistics on that are.
Well, I think it's gone down. Well, one, we get a lot more older people retiring down here, but I think the colorblind statistics probably gone down, obviously because of vitamins and prenatal vitamins and all that. Because obviously, if you study World War II, you'd read a lot of story about guys who got turned away from the Air Force because they were colorblind.
Wow.
But I've only met one colorblind person, and actually no, two. So I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah, they got to be. I know there's an island in the South Pacific where the whole entire population of the island is colorblind, man.
Huh. One from the bright sun or probably lack of certain vitamins and calciums or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty damn wild, man. I was like, check that out, man. I saw this documentary about it.
Are we getting into your personal life at all? Because I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure, man. We can knock this out.
Why don't you go ahead and tell people why you're in Tampa other than hiding from me and the coronavirus?
Yeah, exactly. Staying away from you, staying away from you and the coronavirus. All right. Right now I'm in Tampa, making my way, staying overnight at my aunt's house. Going to be headed up to Jacksonville. As some of you may know, and some of you may not know, my brother passed away 9 months ago last week, and that was been pretty devastating. Well, that caused my oldest brother to go and get a checkup. He went in mid-January or so, and come to find out, he's been going through more tests and things, but come to find out, he's got stage 3 lung cancer. So, and he is, let's see, my middle brother before he passed was 52, 53, and he is 57, I believe. Yeah, he's 57 now. So this is something, and of course I'm dealing with my own cancer that's getting very aggressive in my skull. But yeah, that's.
And your mother also has cancer too, correct?
Yes, correct.
I want to ask you an honest question.
Absolutely, fire away, man.
Has anybody considered going out to your old house in California and doing a soil sample?
No.
With the exception of your father, every person who's lived in that house has cancer.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is when you said that, and when you texted me that the other day, I thought about it, and I said, that's a possibility, because as well as I do, living out west in Southern California, one of the big agricultural products is strawberries.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah, strawberries were one of the, they have strawberry festivals and all that sort of stuff. Living in Ventura at the time where I was living at, I lived, and when you said that, it triggered all these thoughts. And what it is I lived just like, I don't know, a quarter mile from a strawberry field. And I would see all, the Mexicans over there in full-on respirators and head-to-toe, like hazmat suits, spraying these things down all the time. And, and I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty wild. But, that triggered all those thoughts. But no, you know what? That is not a bad...
Well, the reason I say that is I've never met, I mean, obviously, my grandmother had cancer. I've known plenty of people who've passed away from cancer, but I've never met an entire household who's come down with cancer, with the exception of your father, which he hasn't been tested.
Well, what's odd about it, man, is I first got my first battle of cancer was at 32 when I had my first 3 surgeries on my face.
When you blew yourself up.
And after that, and it lay dormant for a long time, and it has come back to the point now here within the past. I think I was telling you about this, but I'll let everybody know. Within the past 6 weeks, my right side of my face, like the cheekbone areas where you're
talking about the pretty side.
What's that?
You talking about the pretty side?
Yeah, my pretty side. Yeah, the one that's got the cancer on it, man. But anyways, the right side has gone numb now. So my skull, above the bridge line of the nose, up and then down and back around to where your nasal passages are, how they kind of wrap up and around your eye right there. So, and as you know, I've been slowly trying to get a hold on this because it's just, number one, it is not cheap.
Sure. Especially when you don't have insurance. It's expensive enough when you're paying copay, but when you have no insurance at all and you don't apply for, you're not eligible for Medicare or any of the other ones.
It's crazy, man. But it's interesting that you say that, though, because about the soil samples and stuff. But I have never. And what's interesting is my dad's side is the side of the family that gets the skin cancers. They killed my grandmother on his side. His mother, she ended up with mouth cancer. They cut her tongue out, and it just progressed and got into her brain and all that sort of stuff. And then on my mom's side, it's the lungs and brain mainly. So it's wild, man. It's unbelievable that he literally called to the day of his passing. And like I said, I don't think he realized it, man. He was trying to be cool about it and not.
He's probably trying to be proactive about it, and then, he went and had his test done, and then as soon as he got the information, he figured, well, it's better. Yeah. I'm sure nowhere in his mind was, since it's the anniversary, I'm going to drop this bomb.
Yeah, no, he wasn't thinking that whatsoever, man. But it's just it's crazy, guys. It's literally it is mind blowing. I've been so stressed and at a loss and trying to think about, what's the cause of all this? Why is this happening? And you know what? You can beat yourself up all night. I haven't been sleeping well because of it. And
which, as we talked about last week, is not a good thing.
Yeah, and let me tell you, a lot of people would think that at this point, you know what, he would really fall off the wagon and go down that super dark hole. And I'm not, man. I've stepped up to the plate big time here, and I'm trying to not only get myself, healed and get that diagnosed and make sure that everything's going to be okay. But I've got the family. I've got my mother. I've got my father. I've got my brother and his wife. And now he's got this. It's wild, guys. It doesn't seem real, man. It doesn't seem real.
Well,
so
we don't want to dwell on it too much. I just wanted to let everybody out there, and I really wanted to ask you because I didn't get a reply. The whole soil sample thing, it's just driving me nuts. It's like, how in the hell is everybody in that household coming down with cancer? It's just insane.
Or even the water.
And I appreciate you letting me kind of talk about it because it feels good to get it off your chest because I haven't really had, I've been kind of keeping it to myself, man. And
sure.
No better way than to let it out on the good old Waterman and D-Train show.
Which, by the way, if you want your new decal die cut stickers, just go to d-410.com and you'll see the logo, and you can go to eBay. Just tell us what color you want. I'll give them to you in any color. They're $3 a piece. You might say $3, holy hell, but I can assure you these things are labor intensive. By the way, Gordon, I got your white OG5 labels done tonight. Woo! I've been working on those. Nice. These things are labor intensive, so trust me, $3, I'm not getting rich off. I'm barely breaking even after labor, but yes, when you order them, it is through eBay simply because it's best. You can pay with PayPal or however you want to pay. Easiest way to do it. And it's all the transactions are taken care of. Free shipping on those. It was $3, I think maybe $3.50. I can't remember, but it's still cheaper than you're going to spend on a $6.24 cup of Starbucks, which I haven't had in a week and a half now. But if you want to know about that, just check out the YouTube video.
Hell
Are you
yeah,
having
dude.
withdrawals?
Good for you, bro.
No, not really. I mean, I did on Friday start getting a caffeine withdrawal headache because I not only had I not had the triple shots of espresso that day, but for lunch I had a sweet lemonade mixed with iced tea, which had some caffeine in it, but I hadn't had any caffeine, so I started getting a little bit of caffeine headache. But I want to bring something up. We've often talked about what is your time worth?
Huh.
What is something
Yes. A lot.
is something worth the argument? Like the time I was at Burger King and the lady was complaining that she had to pay an extra 49 cents for her item than she's used to paying, kind of like I was complaining about the extra 22 cents on Starbucks. But she wasn't complaining about it because she buys it every single day and spends $240 a month on shit. She was just complaining.
Wow, there's some really good decision making there.
Yeah.
You damn right.
But what I was laughing about, because I'm waiting in line to get the Burger King, this lady's complaining about the 49 cents, and she finally walked out, and I asked the lady behind the counter, I'm like, wow, what is your time worth? You want to spend 10 minutes complaining about 49 cents? Not only is she losing time, but she's costing this company, got 2 employees up here getting paid about probably $10 an hour to argue over a lady over 49 cents.
And also the customer behind her.
Oh, i.e. me. And so I saw another guy. Now, this guy, I'm going to give benefit of the doubt for. Maybe this guy is a tree hugger. Maybe he's an environmental guy, and he's concerned about the contents of our landfill. But the gas station across the street from At Computers, that's right, this episode of the Waterman and D-Train Show is brought to you by our friends at Computers. At Computers has been providing IT work for all of Southwest Florida since 2004. Give them a call if you need any computer work, even if you live out of state. As long as you have internet access, they can help you. Give them a call at 239-283-1120, and they can log in. And right now, if you want to back up all your data, which you should, you need to back up that data because ransomware is a bitch, and it's out there. I had a client who got it despite the fact that they had sonic walls, firewalls, antiviruses out the ass. They got it, and luckily all 730 gigs of their data from their server was backed up safe on the internet. They didn't want to get it back, but it's safe. So give At Computers a call right now. Say the word podcast, and they will sell you online backup for 7 cents a gig per month. 7 cents a gig, and if you get ransomware, all your stuff will be safe as well. But anyhow, across the street, and that's 239-283-1120, At Computers. But across the street,
gas station across the street,
yeah, the Circle K with no gas pumps. That's what you call a convenience store, ladies and gentlemen. But they have one of those water filling stations outside that's meant for like the big jugs you put in your water cooler.
Yeah, the old 5 gallons, yeah.
Yeah, that way you can just refill it yourself. He was filling up the gallon milk jug size but water from like Publix, the drinking water. He was sitting there filling up like 4 of those.
What?
I don't know what the price is to fire that sumbitch up, but I do have 4 jugs of those Publix drinking water out in my refrigerator, and at retail they cost 88 cents. So what it's costing him in gas to leave his house, load up 5 jugs in the back of the old vehicle, drive down to the Circle K with no gas pump, fire up that water pumping machine, sit there and hold those damn jugs, and then put them in the truck and then go back home. What is your time worth? Once again, maybe he's more concerned about the amount of plastic going in the landfills and he's doing it for environmental purposes. But if he's doing it for financial purposes, once again, those jugs cost 88 cents retail, full of water.
Yeah.
What is your time worth?
Exactly. Gas, money, everything else it's going to take for him to get those full, man.
Wear and tear on brakes, tires.
Yep, exactly.
It all adds up.
And so the other night I had an issue at 7-Eleven, and I was convinced the lady in front of me was on the same page.
Okay.
She and I were waiting in line, and of course at the 7-Eleven, they ain't worried about selling gas. They're worried about upsell.
Absolutely.
And we want to sell you some nasty-ass frozen pizza. Now, I'm on the outskirts of Cape Coral and North Fort Myre, where we have a lot of necks running around. Hell, half the time they're in a gas station barefoot, like Britney Spears, circa 2004.
Damn right.
And this gentleman was waiting on his frozen pizza. I think he ordered 2 of them. And he noticed the first frozen pizza's a mite burnt. And so now the guy's, oh, crap. You think maybe you can cook me up another one? Give me a replacement pizza?
This one's a little too well done.
That one's a little burnt. Sure, no thing. Let me go up here and help the lady in front of you before I put the next pizza. She's been waiting long enough. So he comes over to the lady, and the lady says, hey, I will buy that burnt pizza. Okay, problem solved. Now she's out of here. She's moving the line along, and things are going to be processed. I'm thinking, great. She's like me. What's your time worth? It's probably cheap for her to buy this pizza, or maybe she's hungry. Maybe she likes well-done pizza.
Mm-hmm.
So the gas station clerk moseys on down to the pizza bar and tells the young gentleman, hey, I know I told you I would cook you another pizza and give you the burnt one for free, but the lady at the counter said she'll buy the burnt pizza.
Uh-oh.
So what do you think the young man did?
He flipped the F out.
No, he didn't flip the F out. He was nice and courteous, but he said, no, I'll tell you what, I want the burnt pizza.
The burnt pizza's gone.
What?
So the young lady didn't get to purchase the burnt pizza. The original buyer got to purchase the burnt pizza, and I still had to wait for another pizza to get made because the young lady decided that she couldn't have the burnt pizza. She might as well have another pizza.
Oh, my God.
And so now I got to wait for the...
Just so for me also.
So now I got to wait for the guy to finish cooking the 2 pizzas for the first guy, cook a pizza for the girl in front of me before he can service me, because now he's servicing them. Sure, I wish he'd service me, but before he can get to me, because now he's got to cook a pizza for the woman in front of me. And I was just so disappointed. I was like, I was really hoping she was just wanting to buy that pizza to move this line along. And so this young cat comes in behind me with like a lanyard. I don't know if he works for a radio station or a band that was playing, but he's standing in line. I said, I hope you ain't in a hurry. He's like, nah, man, go ahead and take your time. I said, I ain't talking about me. I said, none of us are fucking going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then finally, the guy got his pizza and his burnt pizza. The lady in front of me got her pizza. And then finally, after like 10 minutes of standing in line, I was like,
don't they have extra? So these
No.
7-Elevens, the way they operate around here, maybe it's because
around here, yeah.
in these parts we're a little more metropolitan.
No, during the daytime, when they have a heavier crowd and they get a delivery, they have 2, sometimes 3 employees working. But this is like 10 o'clock at night.
So he can't put the pizza in the oven and then handle somebody else while that one's cooking because it's on a timer and then get them out the door?
But he burnt the pizza. Now I got to figure out what the hell. And let's be honest, you're working at 7-Eleven. You're not exactly a problem solver. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Well, a problem creator, evidently.
And that's that's the problem with turning your gas station into a cafeteria. Is you're more concerned with moving product, which I don't. Be honest with you, I could be hungry. I could go out and fertilize like 10 lawns, maybe build a house, be starving, haven't eaten in 2 days. I'll walk into a 7-Eleven and the smell of those chicken wings and that nasty ass frozen pizza just destroys my appetite.
Well, to be fair, they don't make much money off the gas. They actually make all their money off the shit inside.
You ain't got to tell me.
I'll tell you what, though, they don't have a bad Cuban sandwich. Now, I'm not, I like Cuban sandwiches, but for on the go, that's, or what, I forget what the hell gas station's that one. It doesn't matter. Point being, their Cuban sandwiches aren't too bad. That's the only thing I'd get from that place.
Here's the beef I have with 7-Eleven, since you got me to understand it. Yes, Gordon, you're right. They do make money off all their other stuff.
Yeah, man.
I am partial to this little product called the Arizona Energy Drink that's been around since like 1992.
Mm-hmm. It has been said before, yes.
And it has the picture of the guys running from the beginning of that whatever that movie was, where they're running on the beach in slow motion with the fancy song. That's on the cover of the can. That can is 99 cents everywhere, all over, except for 7-Eleven.
Okay.
That can is $1.49 at 7-Eleven because 7-Eleven sells their own knockoff version of it, of which they sell at 99 cents.
That's smart business on 7-Eleven's part.
You go to all the other gas stations, you get a bag of pre-sliced pickles for whatever price. All universal pricing.
Wait a second. What is this? What is this newfangled food item out there?
It's called a pickle. Now, for those who don't know, a pickle is it's a cucumber that's been soaking in vinegar.
No, I get a pickle, but pre-sliced pickles?
Yeah, they slice it up in little chunks and they put it in a Ziploc bag with the fluid so you can munch on some pickles, which, by the way, if you go to the gym, they say pickle juice is pretty good for you.
Yeah, I rock the Colossians.
It's like a great electrolyte.
Yeah, and so 7-Elevens can't allow some other company to get away with having a newfangled idea. So what they do is, instead of carrying that product, now they have their own version of the sliced pickle in a Ziploc bag with the juices in it, which they sell for a little bit more than what the other pickle people do.
I'm going to have to.
They're like the flea market of
7-Eleven.
gas stations. They like rip everybody off and then like undercut them with their own prices so they can tell their board of directors, our energy drink outsells Zero's own energy drink 5-1. Yeah, it's because you cranked the other one up to 49 cents where everybody else can get it $1 anywhere else they go.
Yeah, the price point's different. You can't compare.
Exactly. But anyhow, that's my tangent on 7-Eleven.
So are their pre-sliced pickles any good?
Yeah, they're actually pretty good. I actually, I'll leave the gym, and now this isn't a good pairing. One of the weird things here in the last 10 years is we've all grown accustomed to drinking shit that doesn't taste good.
I can, I can confirm that.
If you tell me you like the flavor of Red Bull, you're lying. If you tell me you like the flavor of Monster, you're lying. We drink it for the caffeine. Red Bull was the first on the market, well, with the exception of beer, was the first on the market with a beverage that doesn't taste good, but people force themselves to drink it. Now, 5 Hour Energy tastes like shit. All that stuff tastes horrible. But yes, I pair my sliced pickles with muscle milk, which is a horrible
what
pairing.
the fuck? Are you pregnant?
No, I just got home. I just did an hour at the gym, so I'm like on a protein kick, and so I want the protein from the muscle milk and then the electrolytes from the pickle juice, and so I'll down the pickle juice, eat the pickles, and then I'll slam a protein shake and then come home.
So is a protein shake more of a palate cleanser at that point?
No, because once again, protein shakes don't taste good either. That's
No,
that's why I'm bringing up Monster drinking it. They all taste horrible. None of it's good.
Oh, wow.
I've never had one of those muscle milks, man, ever.
Well, that's because they're outside of your financial budget. The motherfuckers are like $3.50 a piece.
Or you could go over to Costco and get the Premier Protein Shake version for cheaper.
That's not necessarily the case. I will drink an Equate, though. Those are good.
Aren't those for geriatrics? I
can't bro, but they're loaded. They are loaded with all the same stuff that muscle milk is, dude, and a little bit cheaper, bro. You got to check into that. I'm serious, man.
Yeah, you're also a big fan of the Pedialyte, too.
Well, of course, man, dude, bro. When you're outside like I am and you're sweating bullets, I mean, bro,
sweating
all the
bullets.
All the pictures me and you taped together, bro. I look like, I can't say it, but you know what I'm saying, dude. I look like I'm from a different country.
So I pulled a card out of your playbook, the anti-hangover playbook, the other night.
Oh yeah, what? You went on?
Yeah, I saw that photo.
You would have been proud of me, Dave.
Hell yeah, I like to hear that, man. Because tell me about it, man. I gotta live through somebody.
I don't go out too much because I don't want to be the 40-year-old guy at the bar, and I got better things to spend my money on. But whenever friends have birthdays and what have you, we go out. And so it was Dave's birthday on Friday.
Oh man, happy belated birthday, Dave.
And a friend of his got him some suite tickets over at the Hertz Arena in one of the suites. And so we all went to a little joint in Estero called, maybe Estero, maybe Bonita Springs. It's Tacos and Tequila.
Nice.
And I should have took a picture of the menu board. And they actually had a taco that was dedicated to the great state of Kentucky. It had all kind of weird toppings on it. I can't remember what it was, but I was going to take a picture of the menu, but I never got around to it. Anyhow, I ordered 3 tacos, had 2 beers, and if I remember correctly, I think possibly we had a shot of Jaeger there. And then we went over to the hockey arena and went up to our suite, which we abruptly destroyed the night of 2 young single dads and their boys who thought they had this suite all themselves, which wasn't the case when 6 of us walk in. But, we're all adults, we're all parents, so we figure, okay, well, we can't get belligerent with 2 10-year-old boys in here, but it didn't stop us from having a good time, you know what I'm saying?
You're saying you tied one on that night.
Well, I'm saying it's the first time I've ever had shots at a hockey game. That's what I'm saying.
You had, I've heard the magic word, shots.
Let's play a fun game. How much do you think 4 shots of Jaeger cost at a hockey game?
I say at that hockey game, it probably costs us as much as 1 shot at a Vegas Golden Knights game.
Okay, so let's play a fun game here. Gordon, I'm putting you, Dave. Okay, give me a number. 4 shots of Jaeger at a hockey arena. ECHL hockey arena, not NHL for those you play at home.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go 32.
Gordon?
I'm gonna say an even 40.
Wow, you guys are dreamers, man. 4 shots of Jaeger at the Hertz Arena, $67.
Oh, that is creeping in on the.
Yeah. And so we
ECHL game.
Yeah, so we had. Well, it is a new arena. They are paying for some remods. But
yeah, they are.
And we're in a suite. I'm sure there was some sweet markup because it was delivered via a waitress and not down at the bar.
Yeah, true.
Oh, well, that's the way to go. When we go to T-Mobile, we get loge seating sometimes, and you got the server right there. And
I'll tell you what.
That's
the
great.
best part about suite tickets? the bathrooms.
sweet.
They have
Oh,
private
yes.
bathrooms. You're not down there
Yep.
with the
You're
unwashed
not down and
masses.
coached.
And the great thing about Jermaine, I'm sorry, Hertz Arena, they have a new buyer. The great thing about that arena is it's so small. There's no bad seats. So even if like you're, family of 5 or whatever, you want to take your kids to a hockey game, you can only afford the $13 tickets. The place is so small. Even the $13 tickets are great seats. If you took that equivalent to an NHL arena, that $13 ticket would be like a $50 ticket there because there's like 18 rows.
If.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so anyhow, while there, we each had a total of 2 shots each. So for those playing at home, that's 8 shots, but divided up among 2 people, and the rest of us kicked some money in and some more beers. Now, Dave knows that I am a responsible guy, and I watched my clock, and I did the math, and so I stopped drinking and started drinking some soda and water and this and that and the other thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the Everblades, who were going under the name of the Skunk Apes that night for charity because they sold their charity auction jerseys afterwards. And we headed on down to Buddha Town.
Oh.
We went over to the Buddha nightclub, which I had 1 more shot, no beers. So I think that totaled me for a total of 4 beers and 3 shots of Jaeger one night.
Nice.
And I
You
played
had
some
to be
darts.
Feeling it.
1, like I always do, because, well, I'm good at darts.
You are good.
And it was still early. I mean, the hockey game ended at 9. And so I'm at the Buddha at 10:30, sobered up, left at 11:30, went home, kicked around the house, edited some YouTube videos. I went to sleep, and I wake up to the LA Marathon.
Oh.
We talking LA?
Yeah, LA Marathon, despite I got to give credit to WGN who carried it. I don't know if there was a meeting beforehand. During the entire LA Marathon, we only saw 1 homeless person, which is saying something considering they're going down through fucking LA. I don't know if they cleared everybody out of there or what. Because I don't know if you all have noticed, California's been paying a lot of tourist commercials on TV lately, trying to get people to come out there, whether it's San Diego or LA. Both of them are been pounding the TV commercials like mad. And so,
speaking of hanging with your unwashed masses,
yeah, right.
Please come to LA.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy
Don't mind Skid Row.
Skid Marks and Skid Row. Enjoy a good lunch down at Rodeo Drive and watch a homeless person take a dump right in front of you. But anyhow, so as always, the lead pack of the marathon are guys from like African-based countries, like what is it usually? Zimbabwe, Kenya, and all that. And there's like 5 of them, and running along. There is 1 white guy hanging at the end of the pack, but no one ever made mention of him because he's like in 5th place. And this one cat had been, when you're running a race, it's kind of like NASCAR. The guy in the front, he's breaking the wind. So not like that, Dave, but he's cutting the wind. So that the people running behind him are basically drafting him. So this poor son of a bitch has been putting in all the work for like 3/4 of this marathon, which for those you playing at home and doesn't know, it's 26 miles. And around mile 24, he just
26.2.
Yeah, well, yes, I'm horrible at conversion, but anyhow, 26.2, and he'd been chugging along for like 24, 23 of these miles, but he'd been cutting the wind the whole time. These guys been drafting the whole time, and he finally just lost energy. And so here's a guy who's been winning this marathon for like an hour and 45 minutes, and then he ended up dropping back to like 7th place because he just put in too much time. He should have fell back, let somebody else carry the load for a while. But
exactly, just like they do in NASCAR. Yep.
And so, now keep in mind, I just woke up from partying all night, and this guy drops out, and people are making moves. And you have people who don't speak English. They have their own foreign language. And I hear the announcer say, by yelling Teshahar, they've moved up front. I'm like, Teshahar? What the hell is that? A little bit more later, by yelling Teshahar, he's coming up 3rd. Is Teshahar, like, is that something from the foreign language, or is that a word and they're communicating?
Yeah.
I keep hearing this phrase, by yelling Teshahar. Like, what the? Yes.
His name?
20-year-old guy whose first name is By Yellen, last name Teshahar. But he wasn't in the pack for the longest time. So, like, all morning long, you didn't hear the name. And all of a sudden, By Yellen Teshahar. It's like, what? What do you mean? Is somebody yelling the word Teshahar? I was, like, confused. I was like, what the hell is this? But no. And the cool thing is this was, like, his first professional marathon debut. So, dude's, like, 20 years old, and he's out there just tearing it up. And he actually, a 20-year-old runner from Ethiopia, hovered at a consistent pace of 4 minutes and 54 minutes per mile. Damn. That is a hell of a pace. The best I've ever. Go ahead.
So real quick, to kind of steer you back to your page being ripped out of the book, what was your cure for the hangover?
Well, I'll get back to that.
Yeah,
This all falls into place. I'm not forgetting my story.
Teshahar.
But so by yelling Teshahar, and Carrie kept making fun of me because I kept saying it, and I was like, yeah, well, give me credit because you would never remember this guy's name except for now the fact that I kept saying by yelling Teshahar. Now you'll always remember it. So by yelling Teshahar, he's running a 4.54 minute per mile pace before pulling ahead of runner John Legat. See, when you're hearing John Langat for 3 hours and all of a sudden you're hearing by yelling Teshahar, you get confused.
Are they saying charge? What's going on?
Teshahar clocked in at the finish line at 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 26 seconds.
Holy shit.
Damn.
But now I'm motivated. I got a Savage race coming up in Sunday.
Yeah,
Which, by the way, I'm looking for someone to shoot some video since I don't know if Dave's gonna be able to go, but we'll get into that later.
But that's getting you jacked up, man, watching that race.
I'm like, I need to go run. I haven't ran in 2 days.
Oh boy.
And it's like, Carrie, let's go run. Now it's like 1 in the afternoon, and we usually run at night. But it's a nice, cool day out. And by the way, Taco Fest is going on downtown. They had to relocate the bumps for that. But and she's like, no, I want to stay home and watch Tucker. He's been having seizures. I didn't get into it last week. My Beagle's 13. He's been having seizures real bad. Luckily, we've had him on anti-seizure medicines for like a week and a half. He hasn't had a seizure since, but his bladder's only good for an hour and a half. And anyhow, so she wanted to stay home, keep an eye on him because Nugget stayed all week with a friend. I said, well, I'm going to run 7 miles because that's what my Savage race is. Keep in mind, this is 12 short hours after having Jaegers and beer. To answer your question, Gordon, the page I pulled out of Dave's professional no hangover playbook is I drank 3 Gatorades before I went to bed.
Uh-huh.
Got the electrolytes.
Yep.
I've done that before and puked.
Because most hangovers are a result of dehydration.
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, if you just stop drinking, you can't start hammering Gatorade. You just got to have like a good 2-hour window before, got to pee most of that shit out and start sobering up.
Got to purge the system.
But yes, I downed a few Gatorades before I went to bed. So I went out and I ran. I'm pulling up the... Now, I get down there, and as we all know, I usually park at the Publix, and I run up over the bridge down to Pondella and back, which is about 4 miles. But they have Taco Fest going on, and traffic's a little wonky, and I want to run 7 miles. So I decided I was going to go drive and park down at the Edison golf course where I used to park. And I start running. And I didn't go through the neighborhood across the street. I just ran down McGregor, and that added 2 miles. So I had to run 2 miles before I got to the Publix in which I usually run at. Yeah. And then from Publix to the Edison Bridge is exactly 1 mile. So now, from the parking lot of where I parked to the Edison Bridge, after I bypassed Taco Fest, and I couldn't run through Centennial Park, I actually had to run around the cordoned off fences so they could charge people for tacos. And, well, they had a huge stage set up down there, the whole big thing. I did see a couple homeless people eating tacos, so it looks like the vendors had some hearts and gave out some free tacos, so that's cool. But anyhow, by the time I got to the bridge, I was already 3 miles in. But I was feeling good because, it's nice. It's windy as shit, and it was cloudy out there. I really thought this was going to be the first time I got stormed on. And so I head up over the Edison Bridge. It's windy as hell. I get down. I keep going. I go all the way to Pondella, which is basically... from the start of the bridge to the end of the bridge is 1 mile. To Pondella adds an extra half a mile. So now, by the time I get back, I'm 4 miles into it. Long story short, while all the cool people in LA are running 26.2 miles, I did, I'm looking at my Garmin, 13.10 miles in 2 hours and 15 minutes and 27 seconds. For those of you playing at home, I did half of the distance as Bayel and Teshahar. Yep. And he ran 26 miles faster than I ran 13. He ran.
So you know what this means for your Savage race, right?
What's that?
Anybody you go to pass somebody, you just need to yell Teshahar.
Teshahar! Oh, I already told Carrie. So for now, when we're fucking running, we're yelling Teshahar every time we pass somebody. Teshahar! No, I already told her that. That's our new thing now. Whenever I my next 5K, 10K, every time I make a move, I'm yelling Teshahar.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's like, get out of my way. Teshahar!
But I ran 14 miles once before. The last time I tried running it, I miscalculated and I ran 12, and I was greatly disappointed. I made fun of myself in a YouTube video and go check out about that. But, yep, it's still funny. I ran 13. Wow. I ran a half marathon 15 minutes slower than the guy who won the LA marathon.
That's
Boy, it sounds like
that's
you
wild,
gotta get
dude.
those numbers down, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
he
You know,
was
he's trying to be
he
like,
was pushing a
"Get the
4 minute and 54-second pace. I was pushing a 10:20.
Wow.
Now 10:20 is kind of slow, but not when I knew that I was going to try to run a half marathon once I got down there. So, I was watching my speed when my Garmin was saying like 9:50, I would slow down. I was keeping in the 10s because I can, when I'm pushing it, get up to like an 8.5 minute mile. But that when those cats are running for fucking almost 5 minute miles for 2 hours straight without
almighty.
stopping, that is insane.
That is extreme conditioning, man. I mean,
That is.
unbelievable conditioning.
I just had a thought. Never even occurred to me.
Yeah, wait. I had a thought too.
Go
I
ahead.
think you should yell Teshahar as you're hitting the obstacles too.
Nah, then I'll get mud in my mouth.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna yell Teshahar as I'm dumping myself in an ice cold, muddy water of trash dumpster, ice water and ice cubes, and climbing underneath barbed wire.
No,
This is gonna come out very bad, but I'm gonna say it.
You got it. You got your warning at all?
Oh yeah, we haven't done it. I haven't done a lot of sound effects tonight because of Dave being on the phone and all that. We didn't want to. But let me find the. Where the hell is it? I've got to get these things labeled a little bit better because this really brings the show down.
The Waterman and D Train
Sure,
show,
man.
consistently inconsistent.
Where the fuck is it?
As we listen to D
What
Train,
is it, man?
figure out his
come
system.
on.
Oh, well, it ain't that important now. I'll just say, hi, my name is Tom McDonald. Welcome to the show. If you're easily offended, you should go.
Yep.
I just had a thought. This is probably in 2020 very controversial. How prevalent do you think smartphones and iPads are in Ethiopia?
More than you would believe.
Yeah, I think they're everywhere, man.
Okay.
I think they're everywhere.
Cool. Then I
And
didn't.
Well,
Elon
because all these
Musk and them
downcycled stuff,
satellites.
everybody's old stuff goes somewhere, right?
Do you think they have widely available 5G?
If Elon Musk continues to have his way, they will.
Well, the only reason I say that, obviously, when you're watching the marathons on TV, they're not showing the Joe Schmoes like me and my ilk out there. They're showing these high-end, top-grade professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did this cat run 2 hours and 8 minutes at a 4 minute and 54-second clip, he did it with no music. None of these guys are wearing earbuds.
Well, maybe that's one of the reasons he's able to do it, because he can hear his breathing and his body, so to speak, and understand his rhythm better.
And he's definitely a better athlete than I am. To me, I was at the fucking gym on Thursday, and I destroy earbuds. Dave actually saw one of them sitting in the back of my truck. My 8 kg earbuds with my third pair, I was down to one. I was rocking mono because the other one got a short in it, so I just ripped it off. And plus, it works great when I'm running a street because now I have one ear open to traffic and all that. And so I would just rock the mono. But I was at the gym, the damn thing broke, and I was 45 minutes into it. I tried to do a set, and house music's going, and I just couldn't focus. I actually walked to TJ Maxx, stood in line for 5 minutes, bought a new pair of earbuds, and added 5 minutes to my gym time because I can't focus.
How much is your time worth?
Well, I can't focus.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I was able. Now I'm out running a half marathon with stereo, because that was the day before. I can't. The second 5K I ran, I made the mistake of getting some cheap wireless earbuds, and they weren't charged all the way, and the damn things died 1 mile in, so I had to run the last 2 miles with no music. And when you're just running and you're hearing everybody breathing, you're hearing the clump of everybody, it's so fucking hard.
Yeah, that would be mentally, that would mentally break me down listening to everybody else suffering.
With
Throw
that being,
your arms up. That's it. I quit.
well, with that being said, I don't listen to music during a Savage race, even though I did find out my phone is waterproof. Like, it's the highest grade waterproof phone out there, but my earbuds aren't, so I don't want to destroy my phone, but
Yeah, I was gonna say your phone's cracked, isn't it?
the back is.
It may not be
You know what, man?
waterproof.
I agree with you, though, D-Train. Music, when you're doing something like you with a Savage race or
Skateboarding.
Like me,
Remember we used to go, you get pissed off, you turn on some DRI, Thrash Zone, and you go hit the street on your skateboard?
DRI, man. Hell yeah.
I tell you what, one
know,
of the reasons I think I'm losing my hearing is I've spent all those years up on the mountain snowboarding with tunes just jamming.
Mm-hmm. But I think it does help you out, man. I think music it gives you that extra little bit of oomph and focus,
Well, it
when
also
when I did
Right
that
to the
slinky
rhythm.
challenge, I was gonna give up, man. For a half an hour with a slinky. Back and forth, man, with the arms back and forth and back and forth. And then when Haney turned on Pantera, it just got me going, man. It was like, okay, this is the push, man, and it worked, man.
Well, Gordon hit it exactly on the head. You rock to that rhythm. Just like these ladies who go to spin class. The spin teacher makes a mixtape of higher rhythm music so they can pump along to it. And that's the same reason I mentioned in the past that I'll sometimes, or more often than not, I will run to what I call New Age Bluegrass because it has a high tempo with the banjos and the mandolins, but the bass puts down a good rhythm, and I can actually run quicker. And a lot of those fucking songs are like 7 minutes because they're folk music too. And so when you're running long distances and you're listening to 7-minute songs, it doesn't seem like you're running that long. Whereas, I've tried to run like Beastie Boys and this and that or Sublime. And it's just too slow. You slow down with it.
Right.
Gotta have a heavy groove in everything you do.
Bluegrass, real quick, man. Have you heard this guy by the name of Billy Strings?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
You need to check this guy out, man. He's got this guy because you told me I need to open up my mind when it comes down.
You are
to
what you
music.
consume.
And I said okay, and I started scrolling through, and I discovered this kid. It was a YouTube video, and the kid's name is Billy Strings, and he's got this song called "Dust in a Baggie."
Sounds like a meth song.
I'm telling you right now, that is one of the catchiest tunes. I mean, to the point to where the video I saw, the kid's playing the Grand Ole Opry now.
Sweet.
Within just a couple of years, man, the kid's just exploded. And you've got to check it out, man. It is absolutely amazing, man. I mean, he's got all kinds of other songs, but it was that one original song called, "Dust in a Baggie" that launched the kid, man. It's freaking awesome, dude.
Gordon, are you ready for the news?
I am ready for the news, gentlemen.
Joining us now from the Digital 410 West News Desk in Las Vegas, Nevada, Gordon Abernathy.
Yeah, Gordon, how are you doing tonight?
We're doing all right, but I don't know about this lady in Ashland, Louisiana.
Beats Ashland, Ohio.
Coming in from the AP, the police jail a woman who is evidently very bright because she paid bail with marijuana-scented cash.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know the status of marijuana legalities in the state of Louisiana. But
hey, dude.
Here we go. A Louisiana woman was arrested on drug charges after police determined the $5,000 cash she used to post an inmate's bail had a strong odor of marijuana.
Man.
And you ready for her name? Authorities began investigating one Stormy Lynn Parfait.
Parfait?
33 on Parfait. That's probably the right
Stormy
way.
Lynn Parfait.
Stormy
Lynn
Parfait.
Parfait. Sounds like a stripper name all the way around.
Speaking of Stormy Daniels is coming to town. I'm sure that'll be a great comedy half hour.
Oh, dude.
So she posted this bail on Friday shortly after, she was investigated on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after she showed up at the Ashland jail to pay a bond fee for an inmate being held on drug charges.
You don't say.
The Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office said in a statement, which was obtained by various news outlets. After catching a whiff of the cash, detectives searched her car while she's still at the jail and found nearly $40,000 more inside, along with about 100 Klonopin pills and a food stamp card that wasn't registered to her.
And you know what the kicker is? She brought that to police property, and I'm sure that adds on a few more years.
Yes, it does. Investigators found hundreds of additional pills and cash, as well as marijuana, cocaine, and paraphernalia.
No, hold on, time out, stop.
Home later.
You're losing credibility as a news anchor man. Everybody knows a news anchor man who's never done coke always refers to it by the technical phrase of crack cocaine.
Yep.
Every time you hear the news story, whether it's a police officer or the anchor man, it's always crack cocaine because that sounds like you have no experience with it, that you only know it by its technical term. crack
Yeah, got
cocaine.
busted
Well,
with a
this ain't
kilo of
crack cocaine. This is straight up cocaine.
Oh, okay.
And paraphernalia during a search of her home.
That'll learn her.
My God.
And there were 4 unattended children that were turned over to relatives. So, needless to say, she was charged with multiple counts of possession with the intent to distribute the drugs, because I'm sure that wasn't all for her own use. 4 counts of illegal use of a controlled drug in the presence of persons under 17, taking contraband into or into a correctional institution, and other related charges. Yeah, she will not see the light of day for a long time.
you've got to be out of your mind. I mean, just completely just chingered, man.
You know, is that the technical term, chingered?
Mm-hmm. That's when you're at FUBARD, bro.
Sounds like that's import-export Sheila.
Maybe import-export Steve's ex-girlfriend now.
Could be. No,
That's who she could
DCF's
be
got the
bailing
kids.
How old was she?
33.
Hey,
Her
she's
done.
right your age, Dave. Maybe you can find her mugshot and write her some love letters.
Oh man, we'll have to talk about that next week, man. I got
Stormy Lynn Parfait. That's all you got to remember.
Yeah, 33, man,
All
no
right.
problems.
Yep. Haynes County, Florida.
Where the fuck is that?
Not a clue, except that it's in Florida.
My phone's
It's got to be Central Florida somewhere.
But there, you can't have a good Florida story without some bodies ending up buried in a swamp. I guess you really wouldn't bury it there, but at least, in the swamp. So a Florida man, of course, this has to start off with Florida man, was arrested Saturday after he killed a married couple while they slept and enlisted his stepdaughter to help bury the bodies in a swamp.
What?
So the Polk County Sheriff's Office started getting strange calls last week about a 19-year-old woman trying to sell a truck for a whopping $200.
Hell yeah, that's a good deal.
When asked about the low price, she told buyers the owner didn't need it anymore, according to the authorities. I got this truck. I'll sell you for $200. I don't have any title on it, but the owners don't need it anymore. Well, clearly they don't.
Well, Polk County is Lakeland and Winter Haven, Florida, so I'm guessing Haines County is not too much further around there, maybe further in.
Yeah.
Oh, it was in Polk County. Haines is a city.
Oh, yeah, Haines City is it's off of 17, south of Davenport, right outside of Winter Haven, up by the Halochi Wildlife Management Area. So it's right before you get over into Kissimmee.
Well, you know how you get around that title problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Import-export Steve.
Yeah, you get that baby towed, man, and after 33 days, the company owns it.
Your
file
amateur
for new
hour.
title.
Import-export Steve here, Dave. That's amateur. Here's what you do, right? You get yourself a car, right? Steal it. Take it down to your buddy's chop shop. Tear that son of a bitch down in the frame. Put everything in the corner. You take that frame, you drop it off in the alley, right? Then you make an anonymous phone call to the city. They come pick up that frame, they hold on to it for 30 days, and they sell it at an auto auction under a salvage title. You pick up that frame under salvage title, you take it back to your chop shop, you reassemble the car, and now you have a complete legal car that you can sell down at your import-export Steve's used car emporium as a legally owned salvage title car. And that, my friends, is how you get around the pesky
That's another
titles.
Good one. That's another good one.
As the next statement from Sheriff Grady Judd, with 2 Ds.
Yep.
He said the reason they didn't need the car was, because Raymond Klein, 33, and Crystal Ann Klein, 37, worked dead.
Grady Judge don't fuck around either. He's hardcore.
No, he don't. He's very straightforward. No one had seen this couple since February the 21st. So the investigators did go to the home of Amberlyn Nichols. After she tried to sell Klein's truck, Judd said Nichols admitted that she and her boyfriend helped her stepfather hide the bodies in the backyard and led investigators to the two decomposing bodies in the swampy woods.
Dude, how fucking sick of a person you got to be to do that?
Yeah, beyond sick. So Todd
that is
Jackson
so insane.
was charged with the 2 counts of first-degree murder. Nichols said her stepfather was angry because Raymond Klein owed him money.
That some bitch owed me $45 and I want it now, or I'll take 80 in food stamps.
Could have been a I want my $2 situation.
Yeah, we gotta kill him.
Authorities said he broke into the home, shot them both in the head while they slept, and there was no not immediately clear whether Mr. Jackson had a attorney who would comment.
Oh my God!
We all know the story where I had to clean up my uncle's 4-day-old shot in the head German Shepherd with a tarp and a rope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
we've talked about that one.
That was gross enough. Could you now? Clearly, these are freshly killed human bodies, but still, I mean, the mental capacity of someone to load up a body, put it in a truck, and drive into parts unknown. You have clearly. There's a reason why normal people don't do that shit. What kind of mental break do you have to be able to pull that off?
Yeah, just a sociopath or psychopath. That's the only thing you can be.
Real quick, not to. I'm going to tell you, working at the tow company, I worked like 27. I think it was 27 fatalities, guys. And let me tell you, there were instances where I saw brain matter and things that I just it was just insanely god awful and sad.
Shit you can't unsee. Absolutely. So we're gonna leave the wonderful state of Florida, and we'll
Speaking of shit you can't unsee, Stormy Daniels is coming to town.
Oh hell yeah!
So we're going to go out west to some desert land.
You know, she's flying here with her boobs, man.
You talking about right up north, just past Alaska?
Nah, out west to buy some desert lands. Cuyamonga, New Mexico. A neighbor steals a skeleton over an offensive gesture.
Which gesture? This one?
It was just an offensive. Well, probably. I'm wondering if it was that. Could have been the shocker, for all we know.
Most embarrassing moment in my life is when my beloved stepmother saw the shocker sticker on the back of someone's car and asked me what that meant.
Yeah, I can't tell you. Or did you just blow it off like you didn't know?
I told her. You asked, I'll tell you. You're not a 12-year-old child. But anyhow, I digress.
Yeah.
Anyway, digress to New Mexico. This woman is facing larceny charge after authorities said she stole a neighbor's anatomical skeleton model that was allegedly making an offensive gesture towards her. So she actually took this personally, that this was either flipping her off, giving her a shocker sign, whatever. But
doing a Chris Jericho thing with the crotch?
Or it could be that too. Court documents filed Monday showed that Diane Hagarby, I can't say her name, was charged with one count of larceny in connection with the skeleton heist. The Santa Fe, New Mexican, according to the Santa Fe, New Mexican. So this lady in New Mexico told Santa Fe police deputies that she was offended by the way the skeleton's hands were posed, with, of course, the middle finger up. And she said that this is a culmination of a month-long feud between her and her neighbor, who said that she has hassled her family over nearby residents.
That goddamn bitch stole my skeleton. I'm going to call the law.
Evidently, this skeleton was a gift to Downs from a family member and was worth $1,500.
And why is it doing outside?
That is a good question. And that is that, except one more story. Chuck E. Cheese is being sued. Why would somebody sue Chuck E. Cheese?
Well, 20 years ago, I would say due to some touchy-feely action, but this is 2020. I'm going to say that somebody did not get the appropriate amount of cheese and or topping promised to them on their pizza.
Not even close.
Damn.
I would say because they've stopped their little live show.
Not that.
No, that's Showtime. You're thinking of Showtime Pizza.
No, they had it at Chuck E. Cheese too. I remember that. The anatomical robotic puppets. They used to have the little mates underneath them. Anyway, a woman is suing the Family Entertainment Center, saying that her hair got caught in the machine at a Southeast Portland, Oregon center for 20 minutes. Sharon Scott is suing CEC Entertainment, known as Chuck E. Cheese Family Fun Center. That's a mouthful for $1,000, alleging that the business was negligent, according to the Oregon Live. In addition to the money, she asked for a jury trial and that Chuck E. Cheese put an adequate warning signs next to the machine. According to the lawsuit, Scott was at the center on December 8th when her hair got caught in a machine where players feed paper tickets in, which can be redeemed for prizes.
Yep.
The lawsuit said she was stuck for 20 minutes until an employee freed her. I would have just got out the scissors. And she said the event caused her injury, discomfort, and headaches.
But you know what? I don't have a problem with this chick because she's suing for $1,000, which is basically enough for a new haircut and some lawyer and legal fees. And so it's not like she's going, I want $3 million. So, you know, she's clearly not out for a payday. She just wants to get her hair did and have her legal fees paid for and have some signage put up. So I have nothing against this lady wanting to get that done.
Wow.
Well, according to, before the lawsuit, Scott issued Chuck E. Cheese Insurance Company a written demand to pay the negligent claim, but their insurance declined. Thus, the lawsuit.
And there you go.
Wow.
And that is all I have
baby.
for today.
Thank you so much, Gordon,
Thank
for
you,
that.
Gordon.
Thank you, Dave, for joining us. Thank
Hey,
you,
man,
OG5,
always
and
a
everybody else for joining us once again for another episode. Our numbers are climbing. Welcome to all the new people who have been hanging out with us. And if you didn't know, not only can you view this on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope, but you can download each and every episode the following day, or sometimes 3 hours after we go off the air, depending on how prompt I am, on iTunes, Google Music, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever fine podcasts are available. And it is free. So if you don't have time to watch the entire video, and I probably say this at the beginning of the show because most of you probably tuned out by now, but if you're still here, you're still with us, or you just tuned in and you want to find out what you missed, go to d-410.com and you can download the show there, or simply search for the Waterman and D-Train Show wherever fine podcasts are available. Gordon?
I can be found on Twitter at Abernathy Gordon, on Facebook at Gordon at D410, and on Instagram at Aegis1974. You guys have a great week.
And as always, you can go to d-410.com, click on the social media link, and all of our links to all of our social media pages are found there. Dave.
All right. Hey, once again, thanks to you guys, man, for putting in some serious hard work. And I want to thank all, like you say, all the new listeners and the OG5 that have hung with us from the very beginning. Episode 101 right here, boys. And looking forward to the next 100, man. You know, I think we're really going to be taking off. We're going to have some great things for you guys coming up. And just say some prayers for me, man. That's all I ask.
And speaking of the OG5, right now, if you're a member of Patreon, go to Patreon, go to the message window, and check your messages. I've asked everybody if they want their free OG5 die-cut decal sticker for their car windows. Just tell me yes, what color you want, and give me your address, and I will send those out to you for free. And if you want free swag and exclusive content access, such as the What's in Your Head podcast, go to d-410.com, click on the Patreon link, and sign up. It's only $1 a month. Thank you guys so much. And remember, if you don't get out of your comfort zone, you'll never get out of bed. So go out and chase your dreams and accomplish your goals before you wake up dead. Later, y'all.
See ya.
This has been a digital